Welcome to the Healing Pod. I'm Megan, a licensed clinical psychologist.
And I'm Jessica, a licensed clinical social worker, and this is our journey of navigating anxiety as we learn to take up space and create an environment where we feel that we can belong.
Join us together as we learn not just to survive, but to thrive in our anxious brains.
This podcast is intended for educational and informational purposes only. It is not a substitute for professional therapy or medical advice. If you are experiencing any mental health concerns, please seek support from a qualified mental health professional or healthcare provider. Remember, your mental health is important, and seeking personalized professional help is key to your well-being.
And welcome back. We're going to play here on episode 12 for a little bit. So there might be some technical stuff here that we just edit out depending on how good it goes. It's been a day. How's your day been, Jess?
It has actually not been terrible. It's been a very slow day for me. A lot of shifts and changes.
We had a tornado warning and flash flooding. It was a bad storm. I'm still here. I'm fine. My house is fine. Everyone in my work is fine. So that's good. But it was nasty out there for a bit. It was really impressive. And I was very upset because I was stuck on a call with an assessment that I was doing an interview for. And I couldn't just stare out the window at the really cool rain and thunderstorm. I missed that.
I just wanted to play in the rain.
Like my dad taught us to go stand outside in the porch in the thunderstorms and occasionally climb the roof to get a better view of them. And that's just what I like doing.
Yes.
Is it smart? No, it is not smart at all. Especially the climbing the roof part. That is definitely not smart, but it's really cool. You just got to get down before it starts raining.
Let's not climb roofs and put yourself in danger, please.
So you stay below the level of the lightning rod and you try to convince yourself that's smart. It's not.
No.
I'm a doctor, people. I'm a very sunburnt doctor, too. So my complexion is lovely today.
Oh, my goodness.
All right. How are we doing?
I'm doing fantastic. So we are going to be playing with going live on TikTok, actually. So I'm going to be logging in from my phone. So I'm logging into the Healing Pod on TikTok so I can see the comments on my screen, because TikTok does not let you be on the same account in two different things. It would be mean.
So, okay. Don't have your fancy mic. Don't have the fancy borders. We have drinks tonight, folks. There was a lot of rain. It was terrifying, but cool.
All right. Welcome, friends. We are trying something totally new today. I am Jessica, and this is my best friend and my colleague, Megan.
Hi, guys.
So we are recording an episode of our podcast, The Healing Pod, Navigating Anxiety and Mental Health. And we wanted to open it up to all the people here on TikTok so we can answer questions. All right, Megan. So what are we talking about today?
All right, so we have a few questions from Imani, and they are all about work and burnout and dealing with navigating that, which is a big one. Yes.
How many people struggle with work and just kind of managing the anxiety that goes with that?
I think that's a lot, especially when you hit that burnout phase. Then you start to question everything. Like, am I right for this job? Can I do this job? Is this the right job for me? Usually for me, it's that failure of I'm not good enough. I've been pretending this too long and people are finally going to figure it out. I'm going to fail everyone. They're going to be disappointed with me. It can also go to the anger phase of I'm ticked off at everyone. They all suck. I hate the people I'm working with. This is a horrible idea. There's just a lot of extreme discontent when you get burnt out.
Yes, absolutely. I don't know about you, but I know for me, once I hit that point of burnout, I shut down. I struggle to communicate that I am burned out to start with. I don't slow down on taking things on because I feel like if I don't do it, then who's going to? And then I just continue to become further and further burnt. Like I am burnt
Mhm.
crispy toast as dark as my hair because I am not willing to say, I don't want to be in this job anymore.
Mhm. Yeah, I can tell it's getting to me when I start just hiding in my office and closing the door and I stop responding to emails and my phone list gets longer. It's like, oh, I'm trying not to engage in anything and to just slowly disappear. I need to change. Something needs to get fixed here. I need a break. Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. So we have a whole lot of people who are popping in
Awesome.
and joining us. All right.
Mm,
So go ahead and
Let's
get
start.
started on those questions
Yeah,
we have.
we'll start with one of Amani's. So Amani said, how can I navigate my multiple emotions, frustration with job or anxiousness about leaving the job when I feel burnt out with my job? So yeah, so having like kind of like we just said, having all of those feelings about the job when you're also burnt out and not sure if you can keep going. Mm.
Yeah.
And it is hard. Like once burnout is a very common term. Once you have completely burnt out, you're not going to go back. The big hope is to catch it before it happens and to prevent burnout. The next hope is to catch it before it's that far gone and to be able to reset, readjust, change like what's going on at work that's putting this much stress on you. How can we address that? And then come back to a job that's not going to continually be that energy deficit,
Yeah.
which is hard.
It is really hard. And I feel like people are taught in our society that you just keep pushing through. If you're tired and you feel burnt out, it means you need to work harder, right? Like it's because you
Mhm.
haven't achieved the level of success that you need. And the reality is, like, no, you're burnt out because you are working so incredibly hard and you're not taking care of you. Or maybe you are, but it's still not enough to overcome the amount of work that you are putting in.
Mhm. There was a joke I read once where this employee saw their boss's gorgeous new cars, like a Jaguar or something. He's like, "That's amazing. I would love a car like that." And the boss says, "Well, if you keep working twice as hard as you're working now, stay late every day, work at least one day of the weekend, and you do that for the next 2 years, I'll have another car just like that." And that is part of it. If you get that sense that you are actually just working to benefit everyone around you and you are not getting benefits from it, you're going to burn out more. You're gonna have that frustration, you're gonna have that resentment. You're going to feel against your boss because 'cause they're not gonna feel like they're on your side. They're gonna feel like they're using you, and you can't emotionally tolerate being used without losing all that energy and losing those parts of yourself and feeling drained constantly.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's part of it. You have to make sure this job is working for you.
Yes, absolutely. And is it the right position
Mm,
for you too, right? Sometimes we have to look at that. It's okay to need a change in your life. And that anxiety and that fear of, am I going to find anything else? Or what if I
mhm,
don't make the amount of money that I'm making here? All of that holds you back so much
mhm.
that it's hard to see that there are other things out there. Like you can find something that not only fills your soul, but that you can thrive in when you don't feel so held down.
Yes, and for a job to have meaning, you don't have to be the person curing cancer. You don't have to have, I am doing this and I'm going to save the world. You don't have to be Superman. You
Mm,
do have to see value in what you do. You can make a wonderful career flipping burgers if you believe, I'm contributing to feeding people, I'm contributing to people's needs, and I'm, doing this to take care of my family. That's fine. That's absolutely fine. But you have to make your own meaning out of it. It has to feed something creatively or purpose driven or worth of yourself.
mhm.
And that's
Absolutely.
much like closure, finding meaning in everything is on you. Other people cannot give you a meaning, it has to be yours.
Yeah.
S- Yeah. So I'd say that's one part of it is looking at your job and considering is this a job I can find purpose in? Can I find meaning in it? Does this matter to me? Do I actually want to do this stuff? And it's fine to have a job that the meaning is it pays the way for you to do another thing that you love. And that's okay, but there has to be a meaning. There has to be a reason you want to go to work in the morning.
Yeah, absolutely. Does anybody in here have any anxiety that you really deal with at work, or just kind of that feeling of I'm burnt out and I don't know what to do? How do I move forward? Maybe we're missing some of the skills about how to approach and talk to people about it, how to ask for support.
So there's definitely a lot of different ways of going about everything. There is.
Okay, so let's go through how to approach your manager when you love your job
Mm.
but you're extremely burnt out. Maybe you don't want to leave your job. Maybe it's just learning how
Mhm.
to make it work for you.
So there's a lot that can go into that approaching the manager. So what is the relationship like with the manager? Are they approachable? Is this a person that has that open door that wants to listen to the concerns, or is this a person that shut up and get the work done because I'm doing my job, so you should be able to do what I tell you is your job? Like that's going to go a long way for can you talk to them about fixing the issues that are in the job, or is this something you just need to cut ties and leave? Bad management will kill a wonderful job. Now, there was a whole I forget what it was, but there's positives and there's negatives. And there's some things that will keep a job from being horrible, but they won't make a job good. And there's some things that will make an okay job wonderful. Money keeps a job from being horrible. It doesn't make a job good. There's only so much of our soul we can actually sell, surprisingly enough. I like my
Hmm.
soul. We're going to keep it. So it has to be, you know, a manager that is going to support you, that's going to listen to your concerns. And, if you love your job, but you're burnt out, what is it you're hoping to talk about? Is it, I love this aspect of my job, but this aspect is too much? Or, I'm bored and I want more things to do. I'm overwhelmed and I want less things to do. What about the job are you talking to the manager about? If you have a plan, that's going to be much better than just going to your manager and saying, I'm burnt out. Okay, okay. Well, you don't need a fire extinguisher because you're already burnt out. Don't know what to do. No, we just did like there's so many things. Like, are you burnt out because it's not efficient and you're wasting hours, so you're actually there longer than you need to be? Are you burnt out because you're doing too much? Are you burnt out because the person in the cubicle next to you is blaring their music constantly and setting your teeth on edge? What listen, it happens. What are you responding to? Like, and I'm sure, only Jessica can see the screen, so I'm guessing not everyone here. Like, I'm sure everyone has something in their job that just feels like those nails or the threads going under your fingernails, just something that makes it bad that you had to fix in order to make it good.
Hmm.
'Cause there's always those types of things. Like, this job would be great except for Ted. I have to work next to Ted, and he smells like fish every day. Okay, I don't know what to tell you there. Let's talk to Ted. Let's talk about hygiene. I don't know.
Yeah.
Sorry for any Teds out there that smell like fish. I just made something off the top of my head. This wasn't actually about you. Disclaimer.
Sorry, Ted. Okay. So, what boundaries should we set with ourselves and higher ups when I'm burnt out with the job?
So that is very important to hash out before you do that step of approaching the manager, right? Like you need
Hmm.
to know, what are your limits? What are your boundaries? What can you push yourself to? If you have a lot going on in your life and you need to work part-time and your manager says, "Well, I'm sorry, but I want you to work double overtime because I overbooked myself." This is not the job for you. If you have to have flexibility and you have to be able to adjust your schedule and work hours that change every week, and your manager's like, "But I really like when everyone works a 9 to 5, even though I'm not going to be there because it just looks prettier when I'm doing the numbers." Not a job for you. So, like, those are right? Those are, factual boundaries. So, like, how many hours are you willing to work? What is reasonable to work? And kind of like when you're negotiating a salary, when you go for a job interview, you do want a little bit of flex room. You want,
Yeah.
I'm part time, I can work 20 to 25 hours. I'm full time. I will give you 1 day of overmonth, 1 day of overtime a month. I can't talk today. Definitely
Talking's
the
overrated.
storms.
It's all good.
Sure. Like, what is ideal? What is, I'm okay with this if, and there has to be an if, like, I'm okay working overtime if it includes overtime pay. I'm not okay working overtime for free. You should not be putting yourself in a position where what you are giving the company takes so much away from you, there is nothing left for the rest of your life. And
Mhm.
that is a different level for everyone, but it is a level. Like, this is a part of your life. Your job is not your whole life. You-
Yes. And I think people forget that. Like,
Mhm.
there is living to work and there is working to live. Which category are you in? Because I know myself, I have got stuck in that living to work for the longest time. And I am just by hair pulling myself out of that because I
Mhm.
get so focused. And especially when you're a people pleaser and you are in a people helping profession,
Mhm.
I feel like if that is not my whole world and my focus, then I am letting people down. So it is a huge shift to be able to say, all right, work is here. I love, oop, I hit my microphone. I love
Microphone is
my
also
people.
there.
My microphone is here. I love my people that I work with. I am here for them. I'm still doing my job when I am choosing to be home and present with my children, with my family, doing things that I enjoy and not just stressing about something that somebody else is dealing with.
Mhm. And it is hard. Like, our profession, both of us, we have clients that stick with us, that we worry about at home.
Mhm.
But, like, I can't go on a movie date with my wife and be constantly worrying about a client. That's not fair to her. You can't be taking care of your baby son there and, like, bathing him and wondering, okay, so what am I gonna do next session with this client? I gotta do this and this and that. You're losing the things that make our life complete and full. You're losing that connection, that presence, that ability to be mindful of the moment that helps keep us sane.
Mhm.
We need that sanity. And anyone with a job, it's the same thing. If your job is spilling out at home constantly, you need some sort of division. You need some sort of, this is work, this is home. How do I separate these two? How do I get myself that space?
Yeah.
How do I be the helpful person that'll take over other people's shifts, but not on Tuesday mornings because that's the day I pretend I'm golfing when really I'm just sitting on a porch swing, whatever it is. And it doesn't have to be a good excuse. It doesn't have to be a doctor's appointment to carve out time for yourself. It just has to be your time. And that's
And
something.
exactly. So, like when I do my lives in the morning, right? We talk
Mhm.
about self care, we talk about meditations and mindfulness. And sometimes self care is just taking an extra 20 minutes in the shower because you're not ready
Mhm.
to go do other things, doing
Yes.
that time for you.
I know. Those days when you're taking the shower and you're actually just sitting on the floor, trying to find the will to stand up and to go about your day, sometimes you need those days. You need
Hmm.
that extra time to do it. No,
Absolutely.
sometimes you need to marry a wonderful person that buys you like 5 Lush bath bombs every other month because she loves you. Sometimes it's just awesome.
So, what I'm telling or hearing you say is you're telling me I need to go find a wife.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, mine's pretty awesome. If you need to borrow her for a quick hit, let me know.
I mean, she did already agree to get me to hide me Easter eggs.
She
So,
did. She did.
there's that. I'm just going to be the honorary additional wife. Okay.
Like, she is pretty freaking amazing. For both of us, it's incredibly hard to take care of ourselves. We suck. We have always sucked at it. I have worked very, very hard to get slightly okay at it. She takes care of me amazing. I do my best to take care of her, and she tells me it's good. I always kind of wonder, and then it's like, "But I love you, so I'm gonna be nicer to you, so I'm gonna try more." And I kind of think she's doing the same thing, but like just having that person that can look at you and say, "You're stressed. Go take a bath. I've got everything."
Yes.
Or you're mowing down a field of hay. I will take care of getting the animals to the vet. You just keep mowing and get yourself a sunburn. That's fine.
Also, can you like bundle that hay and just send it to me here in Florida?
If I could, I would. Trust me.
Does Casey even like horses, or is that just a you thing and she goes along with it?
She has one of the three. She would prefer if the pony got like on a bus and left forever.
But
She does.
ponies are the best.
They're such ponies, though. Shorter they are, the closer to hell. It's true.
It is. Mine threatened to kick me just because I walked by him. Peanut loves you. He's perfectly fine. You can do anything to that horse until he decides you're not feeding him fast enough. And then he like turns. He doesn't actually kick at you. He like does this little bunny hop with his back legs. And I'm like,
Ooh.
really? So we've got this. It's the cutest little place. It's called the Wine Library.
I love it
Down
already.
Oh my god, it's so adorable. Like they have it decorated in like 1950s theme. Like a 1950s like speakeasy type deal is what it looks like. I'm assuming I wasn't born in the 1950s, so maybe not. But where was I going with this? It's so cute. They've got like a little couch, like a little setup. And I keep telling Ryan that I want to start like hosting wine, like what I called it, like a wine and bitch or something like that, where we could go and hang out at the wine library. And it's almost like a support group because it's not therapy because we're drinking. I do
Mm-mm.
not provide therapy in
Mm-mm.
those
That
kind of
would be
settings.
unethical. We don't do that. Mm-mm.
Exactly. So it'd be like support, right? Like a
Yeah.
support group.
Yeah.
So
You
you-
set up the space, but you're not leading it. You're just there with your wine.
it's like a
I love
workshop.
that. I'm joining.
It's called a
Yeah.
workshop. We're
Yeah.
learning. We're learning skills. We're hanging out together.
I love that. I'll be there for it. Yeah.
Yes. So when
Totally.
you come visit, I will take you there. It's the cutest freaking
Oh,
place.
that
And
sounds
you
awesome.
have to be unplugged in there because the second you walk in, like you have zero service on your phone.
Oh, I like it.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's
Well,
lovely.
and that's a big thing too. Like we're in a space and time where there's so much it's not connection, but it is. Like there's so much data coming in and there's so much
Mhm.
accessibility. Like we're on call, people can reach us. Our answering service sucks, but they still can reach my phone in the middle of the night, even if they can't reach anyone else's. It's great. They call the wrong people and then have to call me because they didn't call the right people. It's fine. It's fine. Like there is so much ability to break into those bubbles, like talking about boundaries, setting this time aside for ourselves. And there's so much ability for people to break into it and say, oh, yeah, this thing that's due next Tuesday, I have a thought about it. That's great. I didn't want that thought right now. Put it
Yeah,
in my email. I'll get to it later. Leave a message. I don't want that. Like, I do
absolutely.
not answer my phone. If I don't recognize the number, I do not answer my phone. I don't care. Leave me a
I do
message.
the same thing, which is terrible because my kid is away at camp and she calls every night, but she calls so late, but she's also like in a different time zone than me right now.
Mm,
So for me, it's super late. I'm an old lady who already screens my phone calls as it
mhm.
is. So I get a phone call at 10 o'clock at night from a number I don't know, and I let it go to voicemail. And my daughter literally left me a voicemail. Mom, it's Riley. Stop screening your calls and answer the phone.
And back when old person here, back when we were younger, we just had answering machines. They would start to leave a message and you would hear them leave a message so you could run and get the phone. On our cell phones, we can't do it. It's just like, oh, yeah, okay, leave the message. Okay, let me check message. Oh, can I call back? Like
Yes.
you don't
Although
have that option.
the coolest new feature that the iPhone has come out with is it does the transcripts of the messages, right? And now it shows it as they're leaving it in like live action. So you can click answer as they're leaving the voicemail. So you can still do it. I do it to people all
They
the time.
figured it out. They realized that us old people need that. I love it. I love that. So, yeah. But yeah, like finding that ability to screen calls helps
Mhm.
with burnout. That ability to say, no, I'm not working on my day off, which I am bad at. So is my My work friend Amanda, she's horrible at it as well. We both joke about each other being bad. We respect each other's days off when I remember. I'm also bad at that, but we don't respect our own.
Yeah, pretty much. That's usually
Yeah.
how it goes.
Yeah. But like, you need that downtime because if you're not recharging, even if you love your job, even if it's me, like I love my job. I love what I do. I'm exhausted. So even on my equine days, I'm outside in the hot sun on my feet. I'm exhausted and I love it. And my pony boys, they've been wonderful and they show up and I just need to collapse afterwards. And if you don't give yourself that time to recharge, if you're leaving stressful work environment and going to stressful home that needs you on point and needs you doing things and needs you responding, you're going to burn out twice as fast because there is no recharge. There
Yeah.
is no
It
rest.
takes a lot of energy to hold space for people all of the time.
It does. You know, to hold space to, because you're not coming up with responses in your head. You're listening to them and you're feeling, okay, what's going on here? What are their emotions? What are my emotions? What's the themes that we see going here? How does this relate to the other things that happen? How does this relate to the bigger picture of what's going on? How does this fit into what they're going to say next and what's going to do next? It's a lot.
Mhm.
How do we protect the space so that I don't make a weird face and cut them off from what they're saying and make them feel bad?
Yes.
If I make a weird face, I have to explain it. You know, I
Yeah.
I had the session this morning with the alarms and like, "Hi, just so you know, we just had a tornado warning, so if I lose power, I will get back to you as soon as I can." I said that instead of like going to an inner bathroom or anything. I'm just like, "If we lose power, I'll get back to you."
So what could be some healthy boundaries in maybe like a crisis situation like that, right? Like there is an active tornado in your area, you're hearing it, like you're seeing these things, and you're a people pleaser
Mhm.
in a people pleasing role, like a helping people profession. And then there is that level of, okay, I want to take care of all these people and let them know that I haven't abandoned them. But also, what do you need to do to keep you safe? Because
Mhm.
are you going to get back to them if you get taken out by a tornado?
No. And I love that that was my reasoning of like, if I lose power, I'm sure I'll be right back. Not the buildings getting ripped apart. I might have other things to do. I will get back to you. And I have all of the rationalization in my head. These sessions, like this was an assessment session. These are hard to schedule. It is hard to track down these people. It's hard to pin them down. So when we get this time, we need to use this time or getting them back in is going to. So all of that stuff took my personal safety and went, some tornado warning. Which is worse, a watch or a warning? Warning is worse. Yeah. By the way, watch means, oh, look, there's the ingredients for the taco. Warning means we think someone saw a taco. Did they actually see a taco? I have no confirmation yet, but it looked pretty close out there. So it was bad. It was bad. But yeah, I just threw my own safety aside because I knew this was a hard session to reschedule. And it turned out fine because I have a lot of weird luck. Turned out completely fine. I
You're
shouldn't be
alive.
relying on my luck. Yeah.
So if this had been somebody who listens to us,
Mhm, mhm.
what boundary skills could you have given them to do something different in that moment?
So, the boundary skills would have been balancing the legitimate, "This is really, really hard to reschedule," with, "Okay, how can we do this safely?" So, the way my office is set up, I have my desk right by my door. So, talking to a client over a computer, which is what my session was today, the window is behind my back. I can't
Mhm.
really see it through the computer screen. Yeah, like the little window of yourself, it's not really good. So if I had been able to shift the perspective at all so I could keep an eye on that while keeping myself further away from a window, that would have been one thing. Um, the platform that I use is accessible by phone. I could have switched rooms with the phone and said, "Hi, guess what? We're going to be in the file room. You're not going to see anything but a file cabinet behind me. It's not the most pretty thing. I'm sorry. I usually have cluttered stuff behind me anyway. It's not always the most pretty thing, but you're going to see something even less therapeutic for my safety. If I had very much, okay, this is hard to do, but it's not impossible. It would have been a, excuse me, I am very sorry. We just had a tornado warning. The warning's only supposed to last this amount of time. I'm going to recheck in at that time. Please bear with me. I will come back to you. I think it was like a 45-minute window or something that they had the warning for. I could have just delayed it for 45 minutes. That would have been the sane, sensible, self preserving approaches.
And that's what we will do next time to take better care of you.
I know. And even then, like, I have to acknowledge and not give value to the thought of, but it was fine. But I was okay this time. Because I have been okay this time. I have been okay like 99% of the time when I just drove slowly into the office in a snowstorm. I've been fine.
Mhm.
One time I went off road, just once. Still made. I only had to delay one client. Still made it. I am bad at this game. I'm bad at the self preservation game. I am.
You may or may not need to start practicing those boundary skills that we teach everybody else.
I do need to start practicing the boundary skills I teach everyone else. In some ways, I am great with boundaries. In other ways, I am not.
Well, I think that comes with being a therapist, though, too, to
Yeah,
be honest with you.
we're very used to putting everyone else above us. We're holding space for other people, not
Yes.
ourselves. We're all there. We got this.
Yes.
So, like I said, I love my job. I've still felt burnt out at it many a time.
Yeah, absolutely. And I know, self care is a hard one for me. I put everybody and everything above me first. And then what's left, I get the crumbs. So what is left of my energy afterwards is what goes to me. And I am working really hard on changing that. One tiny little step at a time by recognizing, I think it just starts by recognizing what your needs are,
Mhm.
making that little change there.
And see, that's the hard one for me. Like just tuning in and saying, what do I want? What do I need? That is hard.
Hmm.
I don't know how hard it is for you, but I'm so used to this is fine. This is fine. I'll make do. Whatever. That's fine. I can float with it. We're good.
Yeah. I'm
Giving
not
that
allowed to
space.
need things.
No.
I have to
No.
leave that space of me for other people to
Mhm.
need things so I can meet what they need.
Yeah.
Let's see. Persephone said, "What can I do when I don't even know what I want?"
Ah, Persephone, I think I'm gonna like you. It's it's hard because like Jess was just saying there, leaving that space for ourselves to want something, it can be terrifying because it's I'm not allowed to want. If I want, I might be taking from someone else. I might not be attending to their needs. Like it takes a lot for me to be in control of the remote and to watch, hey, I'm currently working through Doctor Who again. Do you mind if we watch that tonight versus what you want? That takes a lot, even though I know the answer is going to be, that's fine. Okay. Like, but just putting that out there of, can I make a demand on you that might not serve you? And I
Hmm.
think, I think that is a big piece of it and a big heart, it's a big heart, a big part. I was talking like this before the booze people. I'm sorry. Um,
We may or may not have amped up tea with us tonight.
it's delightful. But like putting out there of I may not be of value to you at this second. I may make a request that does not benefit you directly or indirectly or at all. I may make a request that requires you to give of something, of time, of space, of energy, of not getting your immediate desire met. And that pulls up a lot of anxiety. Hmm.
Yeah, it really does.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I feel like that is a common struggle that I have too of I don't know what I want. How can I it's easier to just take care of everybody else because I have no idea what I need or what I want in that moment. So if I can turn all of my energy and focus to somebody else, I feel like I'm doing myself a favor because now I don't have to focus on me, but it's all I'm doing is getting further and further exhausted and tired and worn out from everything.
Mhm. And then you get the resentment because when you
Mhm.
don't get your needs met, after a while you explode of why do you never listen? Why is this not? Why am I not getting? And then you hit the burnout and then you need to change and you jump ship and you have it over again because you didn't get those needs met.
Yes. She said, I always feel obligated to please everyone. I'm just tired of being exhausted.
Oh, I feel that one. You too,
Same girl.
Jess? Yeah.
Yes. I would like things to just be easy and perfect.
Mhm. Yeah, I would like to be able to constantly meet every single other person's needs without it costing energy for myself so that I can meet my own needs whenever I'm done meeting everyone else's. So guess what never
Mhm.
happens? Yeah. It's like you're tired because that cycle of giving more of yourself than you are getting back.
Yes.
And that
She's got
makes
a
it hard.
really good question here.
Hmm.
And I know you will like this one because you are very clinical. What do you do when it mixes with other mental disorders? What steps can I take to separate between?
Ooh, that's gonna take a lot of introspection. It It's hard when you start getting the comorbidities. Don't you love that word, comorbidity? It's a shitty word, but it sounds good. Um, because they feed off of each other. So, like depression and anxiety, I don't have the energy to get out of bed, and I'm going to call myself every name in the book and berate myself up and down and make myself feel worse because I can't get out of bed. And there's so many things that need to do. Now, they
Mhm.
feed into each other. So when you have, hey, I'm feeling depressed and that's making work harder. And so I'm feeling burnt out and I want to make everyone happy at work because a lot of depression is that isolation feeling is, what's going on now is going to go on now and forever. And everyone's judging me about it. And I don't have anyone that will love me and accept me for me. So I might as well just disappear. Like it gets hard. You're failing these people that you want to please so that they tell you you're good enough so that you feel better about yourself.
Yes.
So detangling them is hard because they like to entangle themselves. They make a lovely little yarn project that is really just a mess together.
Absolutely. And it really so I want to say this is where misdiagnosis and overdiagnosis comes
Mhm.
in too, because so many of these mental health disorders overlap with each other. And psychiatrists really like to not take the time to figure out what is the root cause of this problem and what is the actual issue here. So it's easier to
Mhm.
say, well, you're in this category and you're in that category. And also, let's go ahead and sprinkle a little bit of this in. And then what are you actually being treated for at that point, right? Like they're just stacking on medications and giving you all of these labels that you're not having the opportunity to say, okay, this is where it's starting from. This is actually what's going on. Oh, and wait a minute, this seems like the primary cause of the problem because it actually fits all of these things that they have picked these little things from.
Mhm. And in the end, there's a question too with that of now what? Whatever label you give it, whatever, I love labels. I love, I'm married to a wife. I love labels. They're so much fun and they're so useless. Like you're trying to take this giant novel of explaining who you are and condense it into one word and hoping that if you give that one word, everyone will understand the novel. They won't. If you give that one word, they'll understand the genre, they'll understand some key plot points that are likely to happen, but they will not know you. They will not know the novel, and they will not know what do you need to do within that novel in order to come to the best possible conclusion that you can come.
Yes. She said from I think when we were
Mhm.
talking about, like the intermix, the yarn and all of that, she said, "Tell me about it. I have 6 to 7 disorders diagnosed." So Megan can't see our
Oof.
screenshot. She is running our live yard right now. She's recording our actual podcast and
Mhm.
doing all the hard work on that side. I thank the Lord for her because she does all of the hard part, and I just show up and drink with her every Tuesday night.
This is why the sound mixing is not that good. I do it all myself.
The sound mixing is fabulous. She does a beautiful job, and she's not allowed to get down on herself.
But yeah, like it is hard talking about you have this laundry list. I do a lot of assessments in my work. So I love getting the laundry list because inevitably after like every fourth person will have depression and bipolar diagnosed at the same time. It's like
Yeah.
oh, bipolar is mania and depression. So if you have bipolar and depression, someone didn't rule out something or change the laundry list or explain to you what's going on. So these diagnoses just get collected and collected and collected and collected each time someone has a new idea. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
And do the labels reflect you and your experience? I don't know.
Yep. Um, Persephone said, "I think that's why I love leaning on my candles and crafting."
Yes. We talked a little bit. Was it last episode that I haven't uploaded yet? Probably. We were talking about like we were talking about self-care and the creativity and the crafting, being able to take a giant mound of yarn, which surrounds me here all the time, and to take that and to make it into a thing.
A
You know,
thing.
a thing. You can make a little mini shawl. You can take all of this mess and through creatively tying knots, through gluing pieces of paper together, through mixing up random ingredients, you make something that when the pieces of it are a mess, the whole of it is beautiful, is delicious, is emotion provoking, is useful, is fun, is just weird, is something. It's all art, folks. It's all art.
Yes. It's all fabulous.
It is.
Oh, all right, my friend. So before we hop off of here, do you have anything else you want to add in, Megan?
I don't think so. I think we're pretty good. So we talked about a lot of the burnout is defining what you need from the job,
Mhm.
finding the boundaries of what you're willing to put up with, making sure it's worth it to you. You see, and looking at that relationship when you're talking to someone, know who you're talking to and what they're willing to give you. Yeah.
Yes, absolutely.
Yes. Persephone, it was great meeting you and some of your questions. Hopefully we'll do this again.
Yeah, hopefully we can find a better way to do this. We are in two
I
separate
will.
states, and TikTok does not like us enough to let us go use TikTok Studio yet, so we can stream from StreamYard. But that's okay. We're figuring it out.
We will get there, folks. In the meantime, you can find us. You will, like I said, this episode will probably be up in about 3 weeks. We have episode 11 going up on Monday. So this will be 2 weeks after that. If you want to listen or watch the episode, we're on Spotify, we're on Apple Podcasts, we are on YouTube. So you can see the random person talking through Jess's TikTok video. I have a sunburn. You might not want to see me this week. We'll try again next time. Ah,
He
you
doesn't
can
know
also
that I flipped the screen around and you guys can see her right now.
no, I don't know that. Yeah, well, hi guys, you can see me better. We'll see it again. We have a Patreon where I post a lot of the bits and pieces that get cut out. They're not too many. There's going to be a lot of technical ones this one that aren't worth posting. Occasionally, we talk about the fact how neither of us wants to wear a bra in the heat, things like that.
Yes.
But you can also find us and interact with us online, such as where are Jess?
We are on TikTok. If you go in, I will actually pin us here. Um, let me figure out how to pin here. So we are on TikTok. We are on Facebook. We are in Instagram. We are trying to build up our TikTok because I obviously spend a lot more time on this one than I do that one. Trying to get better about that, but that one
Look at
cannot go
that.
live yet. So
If you join us there and you ask us questions, we will respond. If you join us anywhere, we will respond, good or bad. No.
Yes. I pinned us the healing pod. Please go and follow us. If we can get to 1,000 followers and we can start going live on our own account and not just on mine. So that will be awesome.
Mhm.
And we can do all of the fun things. We want to start doing more Q&As, talking about mental health. We just really enjoy doing this and it's so much fun. So please
Mhm.
check out our podcast.
Yes. Follow us wherever you're at, and we will keep coming here and chatting. So hopefully we'll see more of you guys, and hopefully we'll get to talk to you all again soon.
All
All right.
right. Thanks, guys, for joining. Talk to you soon.